You know what? Ever since around Wednesday, I've noticed a lot of Chibits asking me, where is the Gangsta review? Like, I had a lot, like, unnatural amount of Chibits asking me where the Gangsta review was for Wednesday, and I was thinking, like, why am I being asked this? Like, last week, there was a recap episode, like 9.5 for Gangsta, and then Gangsta is not out yet, like, episode 10 ain't out, and Gangsta doesn't come out until, like, Sunday, and today is Sunday. And I'm thinking, like, why are they asking me to review Gangsta? Like, I'm not gonna review a recap. I've never really reviewed recap episodes, so I was wondering why so many Chibits were asking me this. And then, around, like, Thursday night, Friday, I found out that Gangsta came out early, like, on its proper schedule, like, around Wednesday or whatever. And I'm thinking, like, what the fuck? Like, I thought the schedule of Gangsta was shifted over to Sunday. But apparently, in Japan, it came out on Wednesday. But we didn't get the translations and subtitles and stuff until Sunday. So, I was wondering why so many Chibits were asking me why or where was the review. Because I'm like, there's no translations. It doesn't come out till Sunday. So, and now I just want to say, for the Chibits that were asking since Wednesday, I'm not ignoring you, I didn't understand. I thought you were asking about 9.5, because, yeah, I don't review recaps, but that right there, okay. Let's just say for right now, I hope Funimation goes over and tries to start subtitling this on a Wednesday instead of just Sunday, because, I mean, like, if it's coming out on Wednesday, they should, you know, kind of move it back over to Wednesday, but judging by since the season's almost done, I'm willing to bet that Funimation's probably just going to keep with the release schedule on a Sunday. So, yeah. Anyways, back on topic. This episode of Gangsta. Gangsta episode 10, if I am correct. This episode, I'll say, in many ways, the best way to kind of summarize this is it is a action-packed episode with slow pacing. It's kind of weird to say that, in a certain sense. Like, the best way to describe it is, there is a lot of slow pacing going on, but with some intense action. Now, yes, I love my slow pacing, and yes, I love great conversations and dialogue in series. I love that quite a bit. It adds characterization, character development, and it usually makes the series a lot better. But I noticed this episode, or the past, like, 2 to 3 episodes of Gangsta, it's kind of been like this, and to be honest with all of you, we really already knew what was all going on in this episode. Like, was there really a lot of things we already didn't know? Like, I mean, yes, there were some setups going on here and there throughout the episode, especially with, like, Danny to, you know, the crazy girl at the end that was ripping apart A-Zeros. That just goes to show you how strong she is. And, I mean, there is little individual setups going on throughout the episode along with setup, but majority of it we kind of already know. And so, even though it was an action-packed episode that kept my attention since the beginning of the episode, like when it started, I noticed that it was slow. I don't know how to feel about that. I really don't, because if I'm correct, the series has about 2 episodes left? I think it has 2 episodes left, and so that's not much, actually. And the way it's going, if it continues what it's doing, I wonder if it'll be able to conclude what it's really setting up here, because there is quite a bit of setup going on with the government, to these hunters, to what's going on with Danny, to what's going on with Warwick, and then, you know, Alex. There's a lot of setup for individual scenes, and can Gangsta really deliver on all these different parts of this series? I have many questions about that, but I will save that until the finale if it, you know, it's still there and apparent. But back on topic, when it came to some of the things of this episode, one thing I have to mention is it seems like Alex got a punch to the face when it came to the animation. Like, did you see her face at the beginning of this episode? Like, I laughed. I laughed when I saw Alex's face at the beginning of this episode. Like, her face was just not drawn right. It did not look like her character whatsoever. It's like her face was smooshed and all that, like fucking Play-Doh. And I'm like, what in the hell? Like, why is her design just so jagged? But regardless of that type of issue, the episode was pretty damn nice. And the animation quality and production was a lot better than previous episodes, actually, of Gangsta. So, story-wise, though, of the episode, back on topic to the crazy girl at the end, badass. Oh, that girl is bad fucking ass. Did you see what she was doing? Oh my god. Like, she was just ripping apart Doug and everybody else like it was nothing. Like, did you see what she was doing? She's just sitting there laughing her ass off, just cutting people up like nothing. That's some crazy crap right there. And then, also just seeing Twilight just getting dropped, like they're getting bodied like nothing. It's kind of scary. But it raises a question I have to wonder about right now. Isn't the hunters humans? Like, okay, with the entirety of Gangsta, it's been set up for the Twilights to be some form of superhumans, because they have to take this medication and different things like that. They're like some form of superhumans with incredible strength, but their lifespan is at 30 years. And to see that, I understand why they got their strength. But the hunters seem to be against Twilights. And so, are you telling me normal humans have reached the strength of Twilights, or even above, like, A0 Twilights? Like that? And they're just regular humans? Because that seems like a huge issue right there. It's kind of like a big middle finger to Twilights that, you know, have to deal with all the drawbacks of the medication to dying at, like, early 30s. If these humans could just come in and wreck house against Twilights that are really fucking strong. And I feel like this needs to be explained. This really needs to be explained, because it just raises many questions in my head right now. Like, why can humans put up such a good fight against these Twilights? Because look, there was a bunch of Twilights fighting this girl at the end of the episode. And according to my understanding, the hunters are working for this organization, and these hunters hunt down Twilights, so that you could kind of consider them anti-Twilights. And so how are these anti-Twilights, that most likely are humans, fighting off Twilights that obviously should be stronger because they have enhancements? So that needs to be clarified. I really hope that gets clarified, because that is a question that's just boggling my mind right now. So, episode of Gangsta right now. I hope Danny doesn't die. Like, I really hope he doesn't. He's such a good character. I like Danny so much. And, I mean, Warwick, also a very good character, too. I mean, I like his, swag. Him just, walking down the road and all that, smoking a cigarette and drinking. That right there, swag. Just so much swag in one scene. But tell me your thoughts in the comments below. How do y'all feel about this week's episode of Gangsta? Let me know your honest thoughts. I mean, how do you feel about this episode? How do you feel about, the slow pacing with action? Do you agree with me that some of the scenes, or majority of the scenes we saw in this episode, we kind of already knew about, and it was kind of more of a recap than anything? Let me know. You all have a wonderful day or not, wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.